What's going on, you guys? My name is Kay Swan with Road Rash Off-Road, and today we're going to be doing a transformation on the Road Rash Jeep that is going to change the look dynamically and also add some awesome functionality to it. We're talking about a brand new stubby bumper for the Road Rash Jeep. Now, part of my partnership with GoRhino this season, they sent me a brand new set of E1 electric step sides that I am absolutely loving on this Jeep. If you haven't seen that video, click this link right up here and you can watch that full install and review video. But they've also sent me a brand new stubby bumper they call their Rockline. Let's head back over to the Road Rash garage, pull this old bumper off, install that new stubby bumper, and get ready to hit some crazy, crazy trails. So we're back here at the Road Rash garage, and the first thing I love to do is just take a look at and evaluate what my current setup is and explain to you guys why I actually ran this. And then I like to take some comparison before and afters while I'm running my current setup, and then what it does to the Jeep after I install the new one. So taking a look at my current setup, ever since I bought the Jeep, I've been running the OEM factory bumper. Now what I've done is I actually cut the ends of them here and added some stubby bumper caps on it. This gives me a lot of clearance for these giant 35-inch tires so that they don't rub against the bumper. And additionally, I added a winch plate here to hold my 12,000-pound Badlands winch by Harbor Freight. Now if you want to watch the install video for this winch plate, it's actually done really well over the last couple of years. You can watch, I'll post that link right up here. But a couple of things that I'm missing with this particular setup is recovery points. Now, we just recently did a trip in South Carolina going after our next badge of honor, a trail called Gulches, that I realized that I didn't have any recovery points on the front of this Jeep, and I needed them. Now, if you're in a situation where you need to be winched out or you need to be pulled out, secure and safe recovery points on the front of your Jeep are imperative. And all I have right now are these tow hooks. Now, GoRhino sent me one of their steel Rockline bumpers from their collection, and on the front of it has their patented recovery points that they've installed and welded to the front of the steel bumper. This is going to be imperative to the safety and security of going off-road the way that we do. I already know that the GoRhino, because it's quality North American steel, is going to be a bit heavier than what this factory plastic version of a bumper is. So I'm just curious to know how much, if any, sag that I get in the front from adding that additional weight and how much weight we're adding. So I'm going to take my tape measure and I'm going to measure from the ground to this point right here. This should be a pretty basic point that once we add this one on here, we can remeasure and it will tell us if we've lost anything or gained anything. So from the ground to this point, we are right at 3 feet, so 36 inches from the ground to this point here. So the first thing I want to do is actually do an unboxing and open up what GoRhino sent me, lay it all out to make sure, one, I've got all the parts that I need, but then two, just how involved it's going to be to get this installed on the Jeep. There's quite a bit of boxes. It all came on a pallet. Let's drag these things out, unbox it, and see what we're working with today. So in this box, we've got our directions here, but it looks like this is going to be the main stubby bumper with the overrider included. That's all wrapped nice and neat inside here. So it seems that all of our parts are ready to go. We've got our skid plate here. We've got our fair lead mount, and then our main stubby bumper with the overrider and all of our mounting hardware. We are ready to uninstall the existing bumper and get this thing prepared for mounting. So this winch plate is only held on by this screw and then one on the other side. This is a 19. Let's take these off. So to remove the front bumper, we've got 8 bolts, 2 here, 2 here, and then another 4 on the other side. Those are all 18mm bolts that we're going to need to remove in order to remove this front bumper. Now I'm going to go ahead and disconnect all of these fog lights as well, so that when we pull this bumper off, we're not having any obstruction. Now we should be at a place now where we can kind of pull this bumper out. And this will give us a little bit of room, so now we can lift this mounting plate with the winch off of the Jeep. I just need to find a place to put it because I really don't want to unwire all of this stuff. So I'm going to see if it's long enough for me just to kind of pick this up and set it up here. Here we go. Oh, missed a clip. Front bumper's off. Let's see what we can do about removing this winch plate. So I finally got the uninstall done. The winch is removed from the plate, but to keep myself from trying to unwire all this, I'm actually going to be able to roll this up on the hood just a little bit, but I'm going to be able to ratchet strap it somewhere up here so that it'll hold it into place. I'm going to lift it and kind of pin it right here, and then I'll be able to ratchet strap it. Now this is kind of secure up here. We could just take this mounting plate off and we could start to install the new bumper. All right, so we're going to go ahead and stick the stubby bumper on. This should slide right in with these 8 nuts and screws that we removed before. They should just line straight up, slide it on, and we'll bolt those on. All right, so these get screwed on really easy with a 19mm here. We got a lock washer here, regular washer here, and then we've got another washer that goes on the inside along with our 19mm nut here. So let's go ahead and take our stubby bumper and stick it up here. Oh man, this thing's heavy. So this just lines up with these 4 holes. We're going to throw one in there just to hold it on. All right. We'll put our washer and a nut on the back side of it, and then we can start bolting everything down. Okay, so I got 2 of the nuts and bolts in pretty tight. This thing is not going anywhere. It's pretty solid. It's put in place. Before I screw in the other 6, I'm going to go ahead and put the winch plate on and go ahead and put the LED light in, just in case I have to move some things around and gain access. So let's go ahead and hook up the rest of the stuff first before I finish bolting in the rest of this stubby bumper. So with this winch plate and fair lead mount, super easy. It just sits right there. This winch will sit right in here, and then we'll bolt it in from underneath, and then that will be nice and solid and not moving anywhere. So we got it seated in here, holes are lined up. We're gonna crawl underneath, screw it in from the bottom. So that winch and fair lead mount actually went on really super easy. We're gonna go ahead and throw the fair lead on and then throw the LED lights in. Next on the agenda, after I finish this, I'm swapping out this steel line for a synthetic rope. I have one, I've just hadn't had the time to put it on. But I know how dangerous these steel lines can be, so it's imperative, I think, at this point that we get that synthetic line on. Subscribe to the channel because we're going to be doing a lot more DIY installs like this. And if you want to know, if you're interested to know how to swap out your steel line with the synthetic line, we're going to be shooting a video on that as well. Fair lead plate is on. We're going to run our LEDs, and then we can finish bolting down the other 6 bolts on this, and we will be ready to rock. To wire up this LED shouldn't be an issue at all. It's already pre-drilled in this cavity here to receive the nuts and the bolts. I've already pre-lined them up, so we should just be able to set it in there and screw these nuts on. So far, this is probably one of the easiest installs I think I've done on this Jeep. I haven't ran into any issues, any problems, which if you've ever done DIY on your Jeep before, you know you always run into something. Now to bolt the rest of this in and get this bumper all locked in. So I'm having to loosen this one up just a little bit. Thank goodness I only tightened down 2. This hole is not lining up exactly perfect, so I'm just going to loosen up these 2, make sure that all 4 of these are seated in there, and then start to tighten everything down. All right, let's go ahead and start tightening everything down, making it all nice and snug. All right, that bumper is solid. It is not going anywhere. Winch is installed. LEDs are installed. Let's get that skid plate installed, and then we can run the wires to control our LEDs, and we will be done. Now let's check out what we got here for our skid plate. Our instructions. GoRhino does a really good job at protecting this during shipment. I mean, you could see the absolute quality. They've got these thick rubber pieces that protect the edges here from getting dinged up. So this goes towards the front. We've got a couple bolt holes on the sides over there that kind of go into the side of the bumper. Let's go ahead and just kind of place this up there. Let's see if we can just set it up there and get it fitted. Like before, lock washer, regular washer, lock washer, regular washer. So we're going to take these and we're just going to use it to kind of steady this and hold it into place. So this little lip goes on the inside of our bumper here. Okay. Do you remember just a few minutes ago when I said we haven't run into any complications, that this just went seamless and it just went perfect? I ran into a complication. So the skid plate actually has to go onto the bumper while it's loose because it is really tight underneath there. And the skid plate actually has to go inside the bumper, not outside of the bumper. So we're gonna have to loosen this thing up, kind of be able to kind of maneuver it with our hands and get the skid plate on and then tighten it back down again. Here we go. All right, we've gotten it all loosened up. Let's see if we can move it enough that we can push it away from the Jeep and get that skid plate aligned in there, tighten it all back down. Man, if you're adding a skid plate, make sure you do that before you tighten everything down. I think this goes like that. Is it getting? Yeah, I think it's going. So finally with the skid plate, they include this kind of little T threaded piece, and we're gonna reach right behind this body panel here, stick it through this hole, just like that. And then now we have this little L bracket that's gonna sit right here. It's gonna bolt in just underneath, and then the top goes into that hole. Install is complete. Now all we need to do is run this LED wire all the way up to our control box, and we are done. We're going to run it up through the inside engine cavity here. We're going to pull it up from down here, route it through here, and then this box here is actually my switch pod box. We're going to run it straight into here, and we'll have LED lights. So I totally forgot to put this thing on a scale and see what the weight difference was. I'm sorry, but I will be able to take a measurement, a follow-up measurement. I think this was 3 feet. It was 36 inches before. From the ground up, we are exactly 3 feet. So we didn't lose anything as far as movement in the front. It's exactly the same size. Well, that's it, you guys. The install of the Rockline GoRhino Stubby bumper was super easy and super simple. It took me about 4 hours to do it. However, I was also messing with the camera an awful lot, so technically I probably could have done it in about an hour and a half. Now, GoRhino products are made in North America out of some of the best steel. This is actually a 3/16 steel that has been fully welded and then hand finished across every seam. So the quality is outstanding. It's been black powder coated and sprayed to eliminate any chances of rust. Now, the install could not have been any easier. It was a simple 8-bolt screw in. No removing, no cutting, no fabricating required. One of the unique things about GoRhino and the Rockline is they have this beautiful netted area here that is recessed back that is big enough to fit a 2-row 20-inch LED light, or you can fit 4 3-inch pod lights. Now, the D-ring hooks that are on the Rockline is actually a patented D-ring that GoRhino has designed specifically. This thing is solid. It is not going anywhere. Now, I love the new look of this new stubby bumper. It is absolutely beautiful. It looks so beefy, but not only that, it is going to add a ton of functionality for off-roading and overlanding that I can't wait to use, including being able to self-recover and then also recover using these D-rings safely and securely. If you guys are interested in any of the GoRhino products, visit GoRhino.com and put Road Rash in the checkout. They will give you a discount just for being a fan of the channel. You guys like and subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell so that you don't miss any future videos coming up. We love you. See you on the next video.